Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
Hola!
Hey. Now people are going to think they got the Spanish translation version. Should we localize all our podcasts?
That's a great idea. Mucho fit head, fit cabeza.
Sure.
My poor high school Spanish teacher is probably so mad at me for not remembering a lick of it.
I'm impressed you got head.
I remember like random words. That's what's so embarrassing is that like I think it's so cool when other people can speak languages, preferably more than one. But I think it's I've just never been able to do it at all. My mom can speak like 4, 5, you know.
Really?
It's so embarrassing. Yeah, she's so smart and I'm such a moron. It's ridiculous.
We were in Boston.
Yeah, barely. We were in a jewelry store one time and there was an Asian customer and an Asian store clerk and they were speaking not English, and they said something, and then my mom, we were right next to him, and then my mom like started laughing just a half a second before they started laughing, and so she obviously understood what they were saying, and then they looked over and the terror on their face, oh my god, it was so spectacular that they you know, they were like, we thought we were having this private conversation, and it was so great, and I always wanted to be able to do that, but I was, you know,
that is really funny. We should have a Fitheads language so we can have private conversations.
Yeah, I always wondered if, you know, have you ever heard of twins having their own private language? Is that real?
Yeah, they just babble at each other and they know what they're saying.
You think it's real, or you think they're like, all right, next time we want to mess with somebody, here's what we'll do. The first thing I'll say is blaggity blue, and then you'll say, yes, obviously, I understand. You know what I mean? Pepperoni for dinner, thanks, you know.
So the whole population just getting gaslit by all twins?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Are twins seem inherently like untrustworthy, don't you think? Like they definitely have some secret stuff going on that they're not telling us about. Definitely.
This is some weird the horror movie stereotype thing. That's how it seems. Now do we have to be concerned about twinism?
I'm an anti-twin-ite.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you know any twins?
Yes. In my childhood, yes.
Yeah,
and
same.
Then in college, but not. Yeah, I guess not recently. I can't think of anybody who's. Well, I mean, we don't know. I may be running just a really long prestige to you.
Oh my god, do you think you could do that? I don't think you could do that. You're too. Both of you are way too egocentric to have half a life. Sorry, spoilers for the crowd that hasn't seen The Prestige, which is a phenomenal movie.
I'm trying to imagine. Oh, it's got to be. I just have this long ruse of not being able to do a muscle up, and I stay nice and skinny and stupid tiny. And then one day, the beefy version of me, my really muscular twin, just comes in and strict muscle ups in front of you.
Right. It must be hard if one of your twins is into fitness and the other one isn't. Right? Or like if one twin gets like bleaches her hair, or you know what I mean? Like cosmetic surgery, or
it's always a choice. Sometimes they choose to be very similar, wear the same stuff, go to the same school. We have talked about this because I remember bringing up, I had some twin friends in college and there was a hot one and everyone knew. Which is insane because they were identical, but you definitely knew who the hot one was.
Brutal.
And it wasn't body type. It was just something you could just
personality.
Tell.
Wow, that's big of you to take personality over looks. That's great. That's quite the
Yeah, yes, exactly. We have a very hot personality. And I don't want to give away too much information. Not that they would ever listen to this, but they were also from, I think their parents were probably national or new citizens to the US, and so
they were
or it was maybe their grandparents, and either way, one person, the hot one, had a very localized name, and the not hot one had a very foreign sounding name, and it was just
I wonder
difficult.
in that previous country, the roles would be reversed.
Oh no, because they say Hannes is not cultural; it's universal. There's something about humans that are like, I want symmetry, I want
Right.
youthfulness, whatever it is.
Right. I want red hair. I want blondes. Yeah, exactly. Universal.
Ah, I mean, okay, fine. There are shifts, right? Because it used to be really large women were in because that means that you had a lot of money and time to sit around and eat.
And eat. And you weren't wasting your
And
time.
no tan because you weren't outside working in the fields, and now tan is in. So I guess there are cultural things.
Tan is in. Triceps are way in for sure.
Super in. Biceps on
Eh,
the on the way out.
yeah, biceps are on the way out, unfortunately. Traps. That's always a big litmus test if somebody likes traps or not. I'm like, okay, all right,
Yeah, for sure.
all right. I like you. I like you. I'm in.
That's what girls are concerned about. They don't realize it. They're like, I don't want big arms. I don't want to get bulky. They're thinking it's arms or maybe even
It's
shoulders. It's traps.
traps
That's what they see
only.
on a CrossFit girl and go, I don't want that. Meanwhile, I'm like, let's go. I'm just gonna shrug my life away.
Right.
I want my shoulders to touch my ears.
No neck. We used to do a ton of neck exercises for wrestling because you have to hold your body on your if you're on your back, you have to bridge. You do something called bridging,
That's
which
so
is
crazy.
which is like bridging with your, but you don't use your hands. Use the back of your head. So we would do exercises, and all of us would yell out like, I just need that bigger neck. Want to look like a thumb. And I remember, I remember as a freshman being like, I don't want to look like a thumb. And then by the time I was a senior, I was like, yeah, give me that thumb. Want to look like that. Give me that thumb look. Like it was a total shift in my own personal perspective bias.
Fashion over function.
Exactly. And then
That's
and then
really funny.
we would get dressed up in like a shirt and tie on game days, like a lot of teams, but then you'd be super pumped if like you couldn't button your top button because your neck was getting so big. You have to wear it open and be
That's so
like, guys,
funny.
check it out. I'm a 16, not a 15 and a half anymore. You know what I mean? And
That's
everybody
pretty
like,
great.
oh, nice, dude, nice. Yeah.
And cool that you made that shift. I mean, I used to want to be a dainty little ballerina, and I've also made that mental shift because it was definitely ingrained in me to be as wafy as possible.
Yeah. Now you want to be a
Something happened.
muscular. You want to be someone who could ballerina if they needed to, but could also handstand, muscle up.
In the apocalypse, they're like, quick, pirouette.
And also hold on to this pull-up bar and catch this medicine ball with your feet. And you're like, no problem.
It's just me and Scott Matheson that survive.
Well, that's how we have like essential medicines and food and stuff, but we can only package them in medicine ball sized and weighted containers. And then
That's it.
there's just a giant scaffolding connecting two buildings, and underneath it is a bunch of zombies. And so we need to what is that called? The firemen when they have the bucket brigade, but it's a foot medicine ball carrying brigade. You know what I'm saying? With you. Yeah, sure. I'm glad. I think I painted a decent picture.
We're definitely on the same team here. I'm more towards the beginning of the line because I can't be hanging that long.
I can't be hanging. I'm too heavy. I'd fall to my zombie death in like less than a minute. My grip strength.
You're holding up the ladder.
Yeah, right. I'm throwing the medicine balls, and you're catching him with your feet. I'm throwing him across the keg tossing him over my back from one building to the next.
With your neck. Do you still do neck workouts?
Not as much because I don't do it. It kind of hurts the back of your head. And it also, the other one you do is you do it on your forehead. And so unless you have a wrestling mat, it's not very comfortable. You can do it. It just kind of hurts.
The wrestling mat is thicker than a Muay Thai mat.
It's about the same. It's less. Some of the it's like a foam padding with rubber around it, and a wrestling mat the rubber is pretty tight, and some of the other type martial arts mats I've seen, the rubber's real loose, so it's a little bit more slippery. I'm not sure why. But it's very, very squishy. Just think of like a yoga mat like 5 yoga mats stacked on top of
Mm.
each other. That's kind of what and all like one big thing. That's kind of what a wrestling mat's like. And so your head can sink in a little bit. So it's literally like the bone of the back of your skull bone is what gets sore, you know.
Can you
But it's
strengthen that? I guess you could become more
so
resilient.
so you're essentially just
Not a
like
muscle.
if you want to be a tough guy and go to the gym and do it, you can do that too. You have like a crown thing that looks like the Man in the Iron Mask.
I've
It's
seen
like
that.
it's a crown. What you're basically doing
Iron
is
Mask. You're being generous there. It looks pretty dumb. It's
yeah.
like a halo with a cable.
So what you're doing is you're strengthening the motion of just nodding up and down, you know. And so in reality, you could just do it with your hand. You could put your palm on your forehead. You know what I mean? You just like, oh no, over and over again. That type of motion.
Gonna do both ways at the
But
same
you
time.
can't really do it
That
the
doesn't
back
work.
way. It's not very easily. But anyway, the point is, you know, it's function because in wrestling, you know, you're trying to pin the guy's back on the ground, and so his defense, if you've tied up his arms, is to do it with his neck and the back of his head.
Hmm.
And so the other one, you lie on your back, you bend your knees so that your heels are sort of touching your butt, your heels are flat on the ground. You put the back of your head on the ground, and then you lift your hips. It's kind of like a hip
Thrust.
thrust, only your shoulders are off the mat and your head is the other end of the triangle. And then if you get really advanced, you flip around onto your forehead so your chest is facing the ground, and it's your forehead is the one point of the triangle and your 2 toes are the other 2 points, and those are the only 3 things touching the ground.
Do you work on that transition too, or is that not a move?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
Yeah, it's really hard. It messes up your hairline and it gives you nice acne or matte rug burn on your face, which is great for high school boys.
Not a real transferable skill there.
You know,
what else you could use that for?
I don't know. It's kind of fun to be able to hold your body up without your hands. It's an interesting concept.
I'll tell you, the most sore I've ever been the next morning is when I have to headbang for a music video. I don't do it enough, and then it's a whole lot in a bunch of takes. And then the next day,
or hair whipping, I mean, that's a big one too.
But that's like the cardio version of what you do. You're lifting weights. Right. I don't want my neck to get bulky, so
I'm trying my dainty neck. Anyway, that's your weekly. I feel like every episode I tell you like another bizarre or weird exercise we used to do. And just because I feel like we just did a bunch of weird stuff, but it's all fitness-y. You know what I mean? And you're like, why would you do that? And I'm like, well, it's part of the sport, and also we're lunatics.
Wait, is Brittany good at hairography? There are people that can withstand that, have definitely worked up to it, because
so she's good at hair whipping. But she wears these gigantic wigs, especially when they're on tour. You know, like a giant braid that goes down to her butt, or maybe
it looks like a lot of weight.
And it's thick. It's like it's crazy. And sometimes what they do is they hold it and they whip it around their head, which I feel like is kind of like, I don't know. It's taken away of the mystique. Well, they use their hand, not their neck.
Oh, right. But don't be too close to either of them.
I know.
Tangled.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's just their lives. Yeah. And then they're hanging on either side of that pole.
Wasn't it in the Wolverine movie that he was doing specifically neck workouts to look like that? Maybe I made that up.
I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised.
Wolverine neck was a thing.
Wolverine neck?
Yeah.
I don't know. We could try it.
I mean, we got to Google it.
I got to measure my neck. I haven't measured it in a while. I guess I'll get back into my bridges. Yeah.
You going to do it at the gym? Public gym?
Well, I don't go to the public gym anymore. I go to the gym in my building. Although I did go to the public gym.
It's not yours.
Yeah.
What would you call that?
The building fitness center, I suppose.
Gym.
the gym for the residents of the building. But
Mm.
lately, I've been having some real problems with everybody else in my building because they're acting like jerks, total jerks. It's incredibly annoying.
Go on.
Well, I mean, first of all, the first issue, there's a bunch of issues, but my main issue is that they exist. That's a huge issue for me. I wish they would not even
Honestly,
come.
I know.
That's so
Mhm.
frustrating, so annoying, so selfish of them.
So
But
your 99 degrees tactic is no longer working?
oh, it works. It definitely works. Uh, but so what I do is I go into the gym and I immediately crank the heat up to as hot as it goes, which is 90 degrees, and I put it on, not auto, so it's constantly blowing in 90-degree air.
You know, it's
And
in the 90s today in LA. You're still putting the heat on?
well, it's an indoor gym. I need that extra boost. I guess I could just bring the dumbbells up to my roof and just do my workout that way. But next time, we'll do that next time. So what I do is I crank the heat up because I personally prefer to sweat,
Smell bad.
to
Yes.
smell bad, to get out any whiskey related toxins from yesterday.
Whiskey related.
And a lot of my workouts now, I'm not doing the HIIT workouts. I'm not doing the jump around, work up a sweat. I'm doing sort of slower strength ish workouts. So if I'm not going to be doing it fast enough, I still would like to sweat, and I'm working hard. So yeah, whatever. So the first thing I don't like that people do is they walk right in and they just immediately. So when somebody walks in, I go over and I turn it off because I'm like, sorry, sometimes I'm here alone. For the most part, I'm here alone, and that's that. But now when people are like, there's two people that are coming in specifically, and they're driving me crazy. The first one is she comes in and she immediately turns it off and turns it to like ice cold. She turns it down to 60 degrees, air conditioning, cool. So, I understand that most people like to be cool when they work out. That's fine. But I was there first, and she doesn't even stop and say like, hey, did you turn this up? Do you have a preference?
Are you insane?
Are you insane? Do you want to compromise somewhere in the middle, like somewhere between 90 and 60? I'm no 61. Mathematician, but I think we can meet somewhere. Yeah, exactly. 61.5. They just sort of change the temperature immediately, and that it bugs me, and I know that that's a little hypocritical, but it's hard for me because when somebody else is in there, I immediately turn mine off. I'm sort of taking the other person into account, whereas
or other way around. If she was there first, you wouldn't just walk in and put it on 90.
Right. I'd say, did you put this on 90? Are you trying to lose a bunch of weight or trying to lose a bunch of sweat for some reason? Or did you put it super cool? Are you like really sort of hot right now and you want to cool down? Do you have a preference? Did you do something? I'm thinking of you as another person. But they don't do that.
Very Simone de Beauvoir of you.
Simone.
I think that's her name. It's a philosopher that truly believes that we need to structure how we feel about our own philosophy within the context of other people.
That's nice.
Good for you.
Anyway, she sounds like a real 60-degree type person. Well, I don't know. Who knows? I would ask her. That's what I would do. So they do that, but it's a bunch of like little stuff like that. Like they don't. I feel like most of my pet peeves stem from the idea that like, yeah, you should be. This is shared space. You should be thinking of other people. If you're there alone, do whatever you want. I don't care. Obviously, I'm not there. How could I? It's a Schrodinger's gym. You know what I mean? But I don't. Like if we're both sharing the space, then we have to share the space. Like another thing that somebody does is they put on this those YouTube videos where they do a HIIT workout and it's somebody yelling at you on the screen.
Yeah.
There's a million of them. Like,
sure.
10-minute sweaty abs or 20-minute, HIIT workouts or whatever. Mm-hmm. So they'll put that video on, and there's one big TV in the whole gym, and they'll put that video on the TV and crank up the volume. And so now I'm doing my workout, and then I'm listening to some other person on a YouTube video scream at me about a video that I'm not doing. Push it, 5, 4, you got this, flutter kick 3.
That's so irritating.
And it's just so, yeah, it's like irritating, and it takes over.
Right.
I cannot ignore it because it's someone yelling at me.
And a lot of times I'm filming in the gym and I hate that there's music playing, but I understand that there's no way I'm going to find a silent gym, so I built my own. But that's way worse.
Yeah.
That's not just, music playing so that we don't have to hear grunts. Don't get to
Right.
hear grunts.
Right. Yeah. If it's music playing, I'm like, all right, whatever. Like, there's this one guy who just blasts the worst reggaeton music I've ever heard in my life, and he puts it on like, volume goes 0 to 100. He puts it on like 91, so it's blasting, and it's very repetitive. Not my cup of tea, but it's music, and I'm like, whatever, dude. It's just crappy. I don't like it, but it's music. I'm fine. Whatever.
So you just hate lift through it.
Yeah. So then I put on my noise canceling headphones and I get dizzy and fall asleep. Whatever. Anyway, it's so bad. That's a bad one. Another one that people do. So we have what most people do is they search YouTube because it's a smart TV. So they search a YouTube video, a YouTube workout video or fitness video or YouTube music videos. I literally put on like gym playlist on YouTube, and there's like longer hour-long videos, so I don't have to mess around and find something every song. But what someone does, and I don't know who, but they change the language on the YouTube app to not any sort of characters that
this.
Yeah.
And you're like, what do I do?
I think it's Hebrew. I'm not sure, but it's characters it's not English letters. It's not characters that I understand. It's not, and I'm like, cool. Maybe I should learn some more languages, like I was saying earlier, but like now I can't even find the words to change it back to what I want to change it to. So it is weird. I just sort of go on like previously played. I think it's previously played. I guess I don't really know. So yeah, it's a lot of.
You're just flying blind.
Yeah. So what I do is I go to my app on my phone and I try to like map it. I'm like, okay, I'm at the first thing on the left. Okay, I think that is home. Good. Okay, down one is search. Okay, if search is here, then the third button from the right, and like it's taken me a while, but now like I've almost memorized how to do it. And it's a huge just pain to like change the language. It makes me crazy. But anyway, it's really frustrating. It's
wow. That's so specific. Everyone in the comments like, yeah, I can relate.
Isn't that a weird one? You know what I mean? That's such a weird specific one to get mad at. I don't know. Oh, general one? You want a general one? I went in the other day and there was a guy who he typically who wears slippers, like slides to the gym, which is very dangerous, and you shouldn't do that unless it's your
Sonny Webster does it all the time. He does Oli in them.
Well, he's a professional. You know what I mean? Professional
Instagram goon. I love it.
I know.
Also an Olympian, so.
But so that was like, okay, whatever. I'm not going to get mad at it. But then the other day I came in.
Or
socks.
Socks and sandals?
Socks and slides, which is whatever. That's a choice. Then I went in and he's doing incline bench dumbbell bench press, shirtless and sweating everywhere. And I'm like, okay, that's
Did he wipe it down after?
That's a bit too much. Well, no, he didn't, because I mean, now this is getting into I feel like this is just me like complaining the whole time, which is not usually what I like to do, but I'm just getting it all out. It's a small building gym. And so what you sort of have to do is you sort of have to like pick your station and stay there, and then you can move to another one. What you cannot do, and I think this happens in a lot of like people do this in hotel gyms a lot, is they like do one set on one machine, one set on another machine, one set on the Smith machine, one set on the dumbbells, and then one set on the like a round on the treadmills. And that is the most selfish thing you can do, you know? I'm sorry that that's the only way you know how to come up with a workout, but listen to Total Fit Heads and we'll help you come up with a way better workout that doesn't like impose on every other possible person in there. So no, he saw me, sort of scurried over and put his shirt back on like a little twerp. You know,
Wow, he was
almost,
embarrassed.
yeah. And so then what I did was I crowded him a little bit. I was like, this is, you know, people are getting a little too comfortable. So what I did was I did my whole workout right next to him. And then I would just like take
top off.
I'd take stuff away. I took his bench away and like wiped it down and was like, gee, like I was making sounds. And then he would do a set, and then I would like hop right on his machine, and then just do something else right after, or
do his workout. Right, follow him on each.
I didn't follow his workout, but I used his machines. You know, I didn't give him every free reign on 15 different machines all at once. I would take one, and then like I knew what he was going to next. So when he was like on one set before, I would jump on the second machine and like mess up his routine or whatever.
Right.
People are too comfortable. You know what I mean? You can't be doing that. And you certainly can't be no shirt, sweating everywhere, and then not wipe down your stuff. And then, you know what I mean? And this is a building. Like the way I imagine it is like, you can do that in your garage. You live alone. You can do that. You can do whatever you want. But if you did that at a regular gym, Gold's 24-hour, whatever, someone would come over and be like, hi, so we have a policy where you have to wear a shirt. And also there's skin diseases that you can transmit via sweat. And everything's rubber here, you know? And so we're just going to go ahead and need you to not be a total disgusting trash human. Is that okay? Oh, okay, thanks. Sorry, I hate to even bring it up. You know what I mean? Anyway, have a great workout. Okay, thanks. My name's Kyle. If you need any help, I'll be right at the front desk. Okay. That's my impression of what would happen.
I'm getting flashbacks. I've had that exact conversation at me.
How did it go?
But her name was Kylie.
Kylie? Wow. Maybe that's just the name they use.
So it's specifically the YMCA. I get yelled at every year because they have if you're female, you need to wear a shirt policy.
Sure. What's a shirt?
I don't know, because I feel like a sports bra counts, and then I test it every year at Christmas when I go home and do my weekend YMCA, and it turns out sports bra is not a shirt. But Kylie came over and gave me a very delicate talking to. You know, I knew it was coming because it's like year 3, and I just popped the top off after some heavy squats for a sec. I was breathing heavy. It was. And afterward, I was like, "You're the only female here. Did they force you to be the one to have to do this?" And she was like, "Yeah."
Oh. And you're like, "Do you want to pop that shirt off?" And she's like, "More than anything."
How funny that I could sense that they all grouped together, like, okay, we got to handle this. Kylie,
she's back.
They drew straws, and it was like, definitely the girl's got to talk to the girl.
And they probably hire Kylie for that one week a year when they think you're coming.
Said she's fired at New Year's.
No, she charges a huge premium to work that 1 week. So she can yell at you because they can't. Nobody else can do it. Shout out Kylie. We should get her on the podcast.
You want some more examples of why I'm the opposite of what you're? I'm the one causing the gym problems.
Sure.
So at High Match, my private public gym, whatever you want to call it.
Your public invite only gym.
Yeah. Instagram gym where you must apply. They have normal bumper plates on the squat rack, but the 5s and the 2.5s, first of all, they have 2.5s, thank goodness. That's why I had to leave other Instagram gym. No limit. I had to bring my own 2.5s, which are still there, by the way. I
You gotta
hate
go get
them.
them. It's a new
I gotta
name
go-
now. It's called Super Gym now. Did you know that? And
Super
it's
Gym.
neon. The whole thing is like black light, glow in the dark neon. It's
Cool.
bonkers. It's so weird. It's like
Maybe I'll switch.
he went to Miami for a weekend and was like, you know what they have there? Neon.
Black
And then that was it.
You opened a gym in Miami too, right?
Yeah,
Is it
I think
Miami?
that's what
Yeah.
happened. For anybody listening, look up Super Gym. I think it's Super Gym on Instagram. Super Gym.
Super.
No, it's no limit dot Los Angeles. And when I tell you it's neon and black light glow in the dark, it is neon and black light glow in the dark.
That's awesome. Because then your teeth glow, and then everything that you wear that's neon will also glow, which
Right.
I would have to change my entire wardrobe.
And what if you put sunscreen on? Then you look like a total murder victim. You know what I mean? Like I would if I went there, I would run there, you know? And then I just have like fingers trailed.
Does
along my
sunscreen
arms.
show in black light? I didn't know that. Cool.
A lot of things show on blacklight, dear. You better
Better shower before you go. That shirtless guy, who knows?
lock it up. Lock it up.
Anyway, to get the 5s and 2.5s, it's all the way across the room, halfway across the room. It's not directly on the squat rack. So you have
Mhm.
10s through 55. Also, who uses 55? I've never touched them. But I have to go get the others, and I always need them because I am moving up incrementally because I'm tiny and need any PR I can possibly find. And so every time I go get them,
Because I'm
like, why
tiny
don't-
and need validation.
Shut up, okay?
So-
I'm like, why don't I just leave this at the squat rack? And I don't, but I
Mhm.
want to. I want to leave the 2.5s and the 5s at the squat rack because I'm using them every time. I guess other people don't move up as small increments as I do.
That's
They're
not really
moving
your
up by
problem.
20 every time because that's
No.
as low as you can go.
They don't
People
have
do
fives?
5s.
They don't have fives?
Not unless I go get them and bring them back over.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So I'm that person.
Hmm.
Third reason why I'm that person is that I'm always filming in the gym. And when you're talking about being aware of other people's surroundings, I definitely, if someone's filming, which they never are, it's only ever me,
Right.
I won't walk in front of their camera. I will actively try and stay out of messing up their shot.
That's very considerate of you. Especially
Well, I'm
it's almost
aware
like
of that kind of thing. My
new
career
age
and all.
consideration. I hate and I also love when like old guys, old ladies walk in front of people filming.
Oh.
I don't know. I guess I don't. I mean, I don't know, but like there in my mind, there's a clear. Don't be a jerk while you're filming, and also don't mess somebody up just because they're filming. And people, all I see is the extremes, you know, like people, like girls set up a tripod in the middle of the thing to do one deadlift, and then like when somebody walks in front of it, they're like, "Oh, like I'm trying to film her," and like that is obnoxious. But it's also obnoxious for like regular old dudes to like push over a tripod and be like, "This is in the way of my where I walk to, you know, when I need to walk from one machine to the next, and it's in the way, and I don't want to be on your TikToking account or whatever." And so they just like push over phones and stuff. You know, it's like there's a middle ground somewhere again, and I know I can't describe it. I know if I see it, I guess. I don't know. That's a tough one for me because I'm like, you're being a jerk and you're being a jerk, but I don't know where the middle.
I hate Republicans and Democrats.
I hate Russians.
Yeah.
I hate. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a. You know, like it's all over the map. I have no way to like delineate what's going on.
The middle ground for me is when you and I see somebody in a compromised lighting situation, and we both simultaneously pull out our phone lights and then
flashlights,
dual light them.
And they look spectacular.
Yeah. And
they're like, what do you do it? Yeah, that's really fun.
And the transformation that happens too, because they'll be selfieing, they're like, oh, what do you and then like, immediately understand what we're doing and then appreciate it and use us.
Yeah. It's almost better when someone else is taking the photo. So the the photographer has their phone, and then the subject is there, and you and me run out from either side, and
Cool.
flashlights even out the lighting, and the
Yeah.
subject of the photo is like and then the
Oh,
photographer
right.
has to be like, really good, really good. Max a little lower. Oh, perfect. Oh my god. That's really satisfying too.
It is pretty great. How fun.
I know.
So yeah, I don't have a middle ground. I'm like, get out of my shot. I'll stay out of your shot and I will light you well. But I mean, I'm joking, obviously, if you walk in front of me. I've shot a couple where someone walks in front of me. I posted a short to my fitness YouTube, and it was me deadlifting.
Go on.
My phone was not on a tripod. It was just on the floor, held up by my water bottle, because there's a no tripod rule in high mat. Ugh. Anyway,
What
the guy
about
walks in front of me
monopod?
just monopod, bipod, and I just pay someone to come and hold it. So the guy walks in front of me, and I make a mad face and then like smirk to the camera, you know, clearly joking around, like I give a crap. Who cares?
Yeah.
And then the caption that I put for that short was, this guy wanted to show off his calves because he walked like right in front, and you can see just his legs, right?
How are the
and all the comments are like, "You dumb bee."
Whoa, really? They didn't
shut
get
up.
it?
How dare you film in a public gym, you entitled piece of crap.
Wow.
F you, F you, F you, F you. And I'm like, I was definitely joking, and also he does have great calves, so what are we doing here?
Was he wearing white sneakers?
Oh, I don't know. Was it you?
I only have red sneakers.
Ooh, that looks orange to me.
They're orange.
I have agree in
It's a
colors.
mix. Okay. Well, you know, chicks and colors. Anyway, I'm so bummed about that. I feel like that happens to you a lot. Like you make like a very obvious joke, and people like watch your videos and they're like, "Wow, way to be a racist." You know what I mean? Or like, way to like,
what an idiot.
What an idiot. And it's a double whammy, because you're like, no, I made the joke, and I made it because I got the joke. Do you know what I mean? I couldn't have made it if I didn't understand it.
Obviously.
So,
like when I opened up my TikTok about my Chia car, I was like, haven't you always wanted a Chia pet you could drive around? And like, obviously you didn't. No one thought that. That was the joke. The joke is that no, you didn't. And then Cody Co comments on it, being like, he pauses after I say that, and he's like, no, I didn't. I never wanted that. What's wrong with you? And I'm like, thank you for saying my joke back to me. I didn't set you up. I didn't actually think that. And
then getting
rating, Cody.
Right? And then getting credit for the joke that I made that you're then saying.
Which is, really not intelligent.
Stupider. You're saying it dumber and less sophisticated. You know? And
he got a lot more views than me. What the heck?
But we were talking about this earlier, this derivative comedy.
Yeah, that's true.
That's like, I feel like it's really prevalent in fitness. Again, air quotes, fitness comedy, whatever that means.
We've claimed to be the only fitness comedy podcast.
Well,
no one else is funny or fit simultaneously.
No one else is allowed. But I feel like the videos that you and I send each other, or at least on this thread that I've recently seen, is like someone doing a really weird workout, like doing pull-ups while holding an exercise bike between their legs. And that's a really weird video. And that's fine. That's a bizarre workout, whatever. And then the fitness comedy influencer will make the comedy video. Again, I'm doing a lot of air quotes with my fingers. I'm sorry, I apologize for all the audio listeners.
Wind's blowing in my face, all these air quotes.
Yeah, the air quotes comedy video that the air quotes fitness comedy content creator makes is that it's a clip of that weird exercise, and then it's a clip of them standing there with their gym bag looking bewildered. The end. Comedy. You know what I mean?
Comedy,
am I right? And I'm like, what are we doing? That's it? That's the...
I know. The reaction video. Yeah, and it's a shame because it opens with the one that's clearly performed well because it was a well-made video, and then you just piggyback on that. But I feel that way about my covers. I'm absolutely just piggybacking on the fact that Pharrell Williams wrote a great song called Happy, and that it moves people emotionally, and now I'm just using that to get my own success.
But you're making something else.
I'd like to think so.
It's a cover and it's a different twist. It's a cover that, I mean, a cover is inherently like its own twist anyway. Taylor Swift covers a Beatles song. That's a new song. That's not like a Beatles impression band playing a Beatles song. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I like to think so, but it's closer to that reaction video than just an original work, right? If there's a spectrum and it's original work and there's a reaction video, I'm right here making covers in the dead center. The spectrum.
Maybe, but you're doing a new thing and you're creating something. You're not like recording yourself watching a music video. That's what I'm talking
about. People do that. Wait, Beavis
I
and
know.
Butthead.
And they're just like, well, but they say things at least.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the fitness comedy video that I'm talking about is like, what? Huh? You know, and I'm like, yeah, dude, that's my face. That's what I just did. I could have just watched this TikTok in the mirror. I don't know. Maybe my pompousness is shining through. I wish the fitness comedy industry would like rise up a little bit, take it to a higher level, but I guess that's not
weighted toothbrush. That's the joke.
I know. Get it? Because it's heavy. Do you get it? Because it's heavy.
You get it? Because it's heavy. Let's have on fitness TikTokers to explain their jokes. That'll be a great episode.
Oh my God. Incredible. So when you did the Vine sound here 9 times in a row, why didn't you go for a 10th Vine sound time? You know, why didn't you go for that 10th time? Did you feel that 9 was gratuitous, or 10 would be gratuitous and 9 was... And where did you find the Vine sound ever after all these years? I assume you just saved it from your iPhone 4 or whatever. You just keep passing the sound file from phone to phone for the last 11 years or whatever. I don't know. I'm all fired
There's some good ones out there. Juji Mufu is hilarious.
I know.
Unexpected, surreal,
incredible.
Yeah. I can't write that because it's surprising. So left field.
So surprising.
Love
visually it. Or what words, like something visual, a joke.
Emotionally, the way he reacts to things, I can never predict.
It's amazing. So amazing.
And you can tell he's in on it, right? I'm sure some people are like, what an idiot.
Whoa,
you can tell he's freaking brilliant.
You know, you could just do you could do military press not with a full split. Usually you're supposed to do them standing.
You don't have to wear a bird mask when you deadlift.
Yeah.
Okay. When he squatted with potted plants, I'm like, why didn't I think of that? It's so good. Those hanging plants.
I know, it's so funny. It's so funny.
So it's not all of funny fitness.
It's not all of no. And I apologize for, letting my snootiness come out a little bit.
Of course not. I'm right with you. I was just trying to think of positive examples besides obviously hilarious us.
Hilarious us.
And I feel like there are more annoying things I do in the gym. Oh, I drop weights all the time. We've been over that. So many people. Gosh, I just posted a TikTok. Well, it was actually a YouTube short to my fitness channel, and it says, to all the people that tell me stop dropping the weights. Oh no, actually this was that you need a spotter. Because a lot of people will comment, where's your spotter? Where's your spotter? Well, I'm doing Olympic lifting. I show myself failing and dropping the weight safely. Yep. That's what you're supposed to do. It's impossible to spot an Olympic lift. And then after I do that, I'm like, you can't spot an Olympic lift. You just drop the weight. That's how you have to do it with this type of movement. And then all the comments are, nah, you could spot that. Where's your spotter? You need a spotter.
Really?
Yeah.
Spot what? Like a hang clean? Like a squat? A snatch.
And they're like expecting me to have who's gonna stand behind me and catch a snatch. There was one comment out of the
catch a plate right to the
dozens.
face while you.
Exactly.
I'm like, there go my teeth.
One guy commented, "Nah, you can spot that." That's actually what he said.
Nah.
And then about 5 minutes later, replied to his own comment, "Never mind, I Googled it. You're right."
Good on him. I respect
I'm
that
like,
so
thanks,
much more.
bro.
A, because he double checked. B, because he left the original comment up. Usually he would,
Just delete it, right?
delete. I know I never said that. I knew that for sure. And then to like put his own to contradict him, correct himself publicly. Amazing.
That's a
I
big
love
man.
That. That's a huge man. Shout out to that guy.
And I think people replied to his reply being like, "Nah, you could spot that." I'm like, oh my God.
It's so stupid. The replies to replies. Although I know this is like sort of a pet peeve of ours because we're in the content creation game. And we also see a lot of our stuff is starring us or about us. So when people say what an idiot that guy is, I obviously take it personal. I've heard from a very reputable source, and I cannot name names, but they have their finger on the pulse. I will tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
How many internet comments do you think are real human beings, and how many internet comments are fake? Ballpark it. Guess. Do you have any idea?
Well, I feel like
the answer may surprise you. Sorry, I had to. That's unrelated. General internet. I mean, obviously, yes. Your fitness channel is different. Everyone has their, but overall across the internet, if you had to ballpark it,
across the internet. Oh, okay, yeah. Twitter is got to be half bots.
Half.
But I feel like other places, like our niches, the people who are reaching with this podcast, they're all real. They're our friends.
They're real. They're your friends. But
I would say across the internet, 20%
are real or
bots.
Are bots.
Fake.
50%. Maybe
really?
Higher.
So that means Twitter's even higher than 50.
Twitter's got to be like 95 at this point. But across the internet, it's half. 50%. So it's not like, well, I found a bot. It's like, just take half of these and they're not real. And so me getting all riled up, me getting riled up, you getting riled up, bots talking to bots, riling, them fighting the comments and me being like, look, you're both idiots. It's actually like this, it's by design and I'm falling for it. And so that's what I constantly have to remind myself. It's not like, oh, you found a bot. It's half of these are not real people. So don't even let it bug you down because it's a artificial means of getting an emotional reaction from me, from you, the viewer.
So the bots are that sophisticated that they're angering me or making me sad. Mostly it's sad.
I'm sad about how angry I am.
Yeah. She's going to do some neck push-ups about it. Wow. And it's only going to get worse because, I mean...
so much worse.
AI is pretty darn smart.
And getting smarter by the hour.
Do we trust it with
nuclear codes? Yet? Yeah, for sure. What?
Oh, sure. Yeah, sure.
Well, which one's more important?
I've seen them trying to make AI... Not trying, they're already doing it. For creators like us, where it will just read everything that we've said online, understand how we speak, and then reply to comments as us.
I love that. I hate that. Which one? I don't know, AI. Figure it out. That's awful. I just saw one today that was an AI babe, like not thought, but a pretty girl Instagram that's clearly AI. And
that's
she's
been for a while.
Personality now. But now they're doing live streams, I think.
Cool.
Freaky.
Because those Twitch people have, hidden their faces but still use their own voice modulated and their own body in space to animate the character. But you're talking about just a new
being.
AI made a person on Twitch.
I don't love that.
That's crazy.
Anyway, so I'm sorry the bots are yelling at you.
You know how it's kind of like an OnlyFans or even a Patreon thing where you pay to have a closer connection to the creator? They're doing that now where the closer connection is AI, and you're just paying to speak to the bot that is the person. And I've
So
heard
it's a
of at
real
least one person making a whole lot of money. No, because they just let AI go do
but
it.
it starts with a real person. So it's Max. Max is OnlyFans, and then I have my regular tier, regular subscribers, and then if you want the bonus VIP subscriber level, you pay extra, and then you get access to the bot that has my voice. Oh my god! What?
Yeah.
And the
Nothing
voice,
is real.
the AI voice is trained off of all my years of content. Of course, that's so much information for them. Oh god, I hate that.
Yep.
Well, it's been a good run.
Yeah, it was nice being a human while it lasted.
So Barbie, am I right now? I mean, Barbie used to have a YouTube channel. Did I ever tell you about that? I must have told you about this.
Yeah.
Barbie
Because
had a
her set
YouTube
was at
channel,
Clamor.
and her it was completely animated. But she was like a vlogger, or she would do
Yeah, she
like,
acted like a
"Hey, what's up?
YouTuber.
Hey gang, it's Barbie. I'm here with another YouTube video. Before I go any further, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Today, this week, I thought I'd talk to you about like my back to school essentials." And it's a cartoon. You know what I mean? But it was so weird. Was it weird? I don't know. I think it's weird because it's new, but maybe it wasn't
feel
weird if
normal.
you're a kid. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we didn't grow up with technology. I was pretty young when it first happened, but there are people that
but
do
like,
not know a world without YouTubers.
did you have a Barbie?
Yes.
So you play with your Barbie, and then did you ever have the like I had a Ninja Turtle or a Spider-Man action, not a doll, an action figure. But then I would also watch, the Spider-Man cartoon, and I'd read the Spider-Man, you know what I mean? So it was other forms of media with his voice, their voice, whatever.
Yeah.
So I suppose that's like just like another
Well,
iteration
now we
of
need a
that,
Max
right?
doll.
Yeah. I had one 3D printed a couple years ago. It's sick.
I
My
feel like that's
ankles
happened. There are creators that have
tiny.
action figures, right?
I think so. Yeah, but that's a real person, not a. Although I guess Barbie was a real person because somebody was speaking it and somebody was writing it. So it's a real character. I'm going down a rabbit hole. I don't know what I'm talking about anymore.
Yeah, of course. I feel like every episode's
Push-ups.
going to end up being an AI rabbit hole if we don't rein it in. If we go long enough, it's always going to end on AI.
We need to get an AI on to interview them. Can we do an AI interview? Is there an AI fitness influencer yet that we can interview on the podcast?
Yeah, let's interview them. I mean, they had that fake Steve Jobs interviewed by fake Joe Rogan, and it's pretty convincing.
Oh boy.
I know.
Oh boy.
Lip syncing, singing aloud in the gym to your own headphones. I came across somebody doing that at
lip syncing or singing?
No, actual
singing.
Couple notes came out, and I was like, "This guy, let's go!"
You should have done.
Everyone's got their headphones on.
You should have popped in and harmonized.
When I'm doing Only, I can't wear headphones because one, you got me messed up about the noise canceling screwing my balance, and two, they'll fall off. I don't have ones that either in ears or over don't survive. So for my 10-minute EMOM, I just have 0 headphones, and I'm hearing whatever's going on.
Oh no! I will say the gym without music is pretty eerie. It's like grunting, clanging, and I can't decide how I feel about the grunting because sometimes you do need to do it, and sometimes
are you kidding me?
Well, sometimes it's gratuitous. Sometimes it's a little gratuitous.
It's been proven you will be stronger. Actually, if you swear while you're lifting, you'll lift even more.
I agree that you will reach a higher max, you'll get a higher PR and a really hard.
Why would you want to hold someone back from that?
But because if you're doing a 65 rep shoulder press, You don't need those grunts.
5 grunts.
You know?
Just the last 2. Really? 63, 64, 65.
You're allowed
That's
to
all.
grunt on 1% of your reps of your set.
Luckily, I'm only ever doing a 1RM, so it's just a constant grunt. I
That's
just show up at the gym.
a good fitness comedy video. Just
Yeah.
a grunt the entire time, and it cuts between grunts or between exercises.
All right, let's do it.
That won't be annoying at all to other people. Think of other people.
Yeah, be real considerate. Just grunting because it's so hot in here. Wonder who did that.
Not me. I wish.
All right. Well, let us know
on...
about your pet peeves in the gym. Or are you a pet peeve giver or a pet peeve haver? Are you an Allie or a Max? And if you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts, that helps us out a whole lot. We say that every time, but do you hear the words that I'm saying? If you're listening to this podcast and you're a fit head at this point and you haven't reviewed, what's going on? Come on.
Who left a dynamite review?
My mom. We got it! Mom reference. And we'll see you next week.